Hey guys. Alrighty. So, just gonna do a go through of the cards that I have so far for tarot and my oracle decks. I have two oracle decks here that I don't really resonate with too much, but my son does. So, we do a card pull for him every so often. So as he gets older, then I will give them to him. But yeah, so I will start off by showing you the two decks that I'm working with right now. So this is the Oracle deck that I am working with right now, which is the Hedge Witches Field Guide. So this was a book. So this was actually in our February's Witches Moon box. So I'm working with this deck just to kind of get to know the deck, familiarize myself with the deck. So I am still learning this deck. This is the cards. I did do like a casual kind of go through of the cards, card by card. So this is the deck. I really like this deck. Funny story. My husband, when I was at work yesterday, as I work full time, he pretty much spent the day kind of just, chilling out in our room, which is where my altar is. And he was going through the book. And it was funny. He said, I was looking at your book upstairs, your herb book, and there was some recipes in there for drinks, and I have so many books, so I'm really trying to think, what book did I leave out that he was going through? And at first I thought it was my essential oils book, because I was looking at some stuff in there, and because I have books all on my shelves here. And I said, oh, was it like a really big, thick, like university looking kind of book? And he was like, no, it's a... So I'm sitting there, I'm really trying to think, what book did I leave out? I said, well, was it a hardcover book? He goes, yeah. I said, was it all white? He goes, yeah. And I said, that's actually for the Oracle deck that I'm working with. So what I like about this deck is, if you're still familiarizing yourself with herbs and stuff, which obviously I am, you can also use them as flashcards. So obviously it doesn't have every single plant in here, but it's got quite a collection of herbs and stuff in here. So you can use them as a flashcard. So in the book, I'll just pick a random plant here. Chicory, so that's the plant, and it'll have the different names down here. My brain just drew a blank. Like the herbal name for them. Botanical, that's it. The botanical names for them. And then it'll give you a write-up of like information about the plant, just like a bit of information about the plant. And then it gives you the oracle. I'm just trying to find where it, like the oracle definition of the plant means. Just looking for it in here so I can, just say the name right. I believe they say the oracle meaning or oracle reading for the plant or oracle name or something, which is sustain. So chicory, the oracle definition is sustain. So that's what they've linked it with. So it gives you both. It gives you a bit of information about the plant, and then it gives you like the oracle meaning for it. So I've been working with that oracle deck right now. And then the tarot deck that I've been working with, which this one I've been actually working with for quite a while. I really love this deck. My daughter gifted it to me, actually. It's the, just grabbing the book here. I don't have a lot of space to work with, so I kind of have stuff kind of sit on my bed, so that way it's not too cluttered here. It's the Guide to the Everyday Witch by Deborah Blake, and the art is by Elizabeth Alba. I really love this deck. The book is amazing. It's all in color. It also gives you space here if you want to write just like some quick little notes for each, for the major arcana, it has it for each arcana. And then for the minor arcana, I believe it's at the end. Yeah. Just give me one sec. So they kind of split it up. I think it's like 2 pages for each suit. So they kind of put it kind of in the middle and then one at the end. But it gives you like little notes. But I don't like marking up my books. I have all kinds of ringed books down here that I use. This is my book actually for tarot itself, which has some stuff in there. And then I have one here, which is for readings, which this isn't the one. It's what happens when you have too many books. There it is. So this one here is I use for when I'm doing readings for other people. I kind of like to, or I also do it for like big readings for myself. So if I do like a monthly reading, I'll write it in here. If I do a weekly reading, I'll write it in here. If, you know, something specific, I'll write it in here. My card pulls that I pull every day, I always do one card pull. I basically just ask, what do I need to pay attention to for today? And then my oracle, I just say, what guidance do you have for me for today? Unless it's something that really kind of stands out for me, then I'll write it down. But I don't generally write those ones down. But if you're first starting out in tarot, I would. Just so you can kind of reflect back and look back. I'm actually part of a tarot group online that myself and one of my sisters had started, Diane. So I try to put those, I take a picture of each card and then I take a picture of them as a group. And I always post it up there every day. There's a few times where I kind of missed, you know, like a week or two of posting anything or even doing my cards. We all have busy lives. We all have stuff going on in our lives, personally, you know, personal, etc. So, and like I said, I work full time, 40 hours a week. My job is stressful, especially, you know, working during COVID. I've also got kids and a home, you know, to kind of tend to and run as well, you know. So I do readings for other people. Those I do write down. I always write them in that book. But like I said, if you're just starting out in tarot, you're just getting to learn your deck, you know, sleep with your deck. If you're able to carry your deck with you, carry your deck with you. just so your energy can kind of go on the cards, and you know, vice versa. And then it personalizes the cards because it's to you, you know, it has your energy on those cards, you know. And then play around with your decks, sleep with your deck, put your deck under your pillow, play around with them, you know, organize the decks in order of major arcana, organize them, like organize all the suits for the minor arcana, pull a card every day. You don't even have to ask a question, just pull a card each day, you know, so that way you see each card in the deck and, you know, read the meaning of each card. And then eventually, as you get more and more comfortable with reading the cards and knowing them, you know, start, you know, looking at them intuitively, you know, like the Five of Cups here, right? You see the witch here. She's, you know, she's upset over the cups that have spilled, but she's not paying attention to the two cups that are behind her that are still full, you know. Strength card, you know, taming the beast within, you know, you're taming the beast within yourself, you know, strength. And, you know, like what, you know, what trial and tribulations we have gone through, you know, we've gotten over those and we've tamed them in the sense of like we've turned them into strength, and it's made us stronger and it's given us more strength, you know. So yeah, so you eventually, as you get more comfortable with the cards, you'll be able to learn them, you know, combine like the, you know, like meaning of the card and like the written meaning of the card along with your own intuitive of the card, you know, because you want to intuitively read the cards as well, because eventually you will get to know what each card means roughly, like the key words, and then you put your intuitive and your intuition in on the reading as well. So this is the deck that I'm currently working with, like I said. This is the Everyday Witch card. The cards are beautiful. The stock is beautiful. This is the back of the card. They shuffle really nicely. Like vibrant artwork and colors. Like I just love these cards. They're amazing. So that's the deck that I'm working with right now. So I just wanted to kind of start with the decks that I'm working now. So I'm just going to rest these to the side here. And I was actually ecstatic. This was a gift that I got, well, it's part of one of my witchy subscriptions. It's the Witch Casket subscription that I receive every month from the UK. This is actually a oracle and tarot card holder. Love the phases of the moon. So I can actually hold two cards in here. So I can hold each of my cards in here. And they hold perfectly. So that's, you know, would stay up for the day on my altar. And then because I do, I am learning my runes, well, learning to read runes, I should say. Learn English, Tammy. Which I will show you those as well, because it is part of the, you know, whole divination, right? I have my rune in the middle. The only thing is I don't leave my rune out with the two cards because I'm still learning the runes. So I've been carrying the runes with me to work, because those I can carry with me to work. I have them in my pocket, right? So now the very, 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 very first deck that I had bought myself was the Dreams of Gaia. Boy, did this deck confuse me. So probably not the greatest deck to buy if you're just learning tarot, because it's not your typical tarot. This one is literally the elements, right? So earth, fire, air, and water. Those are the suits. And then their like major arcanas are different. And this deck, when I did more research about it, it's Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Raven Flynn. I hope I'm saying her name right. If I'm not, I apologize. So that's her name there. This is the book. It's just a black and white, but it's a lot of information. It gives you keywords, like this card here, faith. Keywords: faith, self-belief, confidence, divine connection, trust, serenity, surrender. Then it has key phrases. So faith is beautiful. Self-belief helps you to overcome, and it kind of goes on, and then gives you the meaning, and then it gives you the meaning for past, present, and then future, right? And then it says potential blockage. So potential blockage, I believe, I haven't worked with this deck in a while. I believe potential blockage is if the card was in reverse. Just give me one sec. I'm pretty sure. That's what it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So this deck is, it's split up differently, like I said. So you have your major arcanas, then earth, air, fire, and water. The structure of this deck, it's seek, so like your past, present, future kind of thing. It's seek, feel, grow. And then it explains like how to ask a question, and the deck structure. So the major arcana are broken up into 4 groups. The choice card, stages of life, reasons for being, and influences. So they have it kind of broken up that way. It's when I did my research for this card, this deck after, I never thought, to be honest, to actually look at reviews on YouTube for tarot deck. I can't even remember how I came about discovering to do that. Quite a few people, when I've watched this deck, watch them do the reviews of the deck, and I believe it's actually mentioned in the book itself. If there was such thing as a tarot and an oracle deck together, I believe it was referred to as a Toracle deck, I think is how it was referred to. It would be these cards. My daughter kind of has a name for these cards. She calls them my butthole cards, to not, just use the curse word for it, so to speak, because these cards pretty much tell you, no, that's, yeah, I understand you're asking a question about that, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this, and it'll really push you to look at unresolved issues, within yourself and stuff like that. They're beautiful cards. Now that I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with reading tarot and stuff, I kind of understand the cards a little bit better. Like this is the King of Earth. Like just like look at that card. It's just gorgeous. So that's the back of the cards. They are kind of on the larger side. Like this is another one. They're just, the artwork in this deck is just amazing. Like this is one of the major arcana cards, which is abundance. Like perception. Like this is another one. They're just gorgeous. This is another earth card. Yeah, like this is the father card. So it has like the different aspects of your life. I'm just trying to get different. So this is one of the water cards. Let me see. Like this is the crone, right? Which is an aspect of your life, right? There's another one. Let me see. There's another water card. Beautiful. And there's one of the fire cards. And oh, like there's another earth card. Artwork is just amazing. There's an air. This is the Queen of Air. Beautiful, beautiful deck. This is a King of Air. Beautiful deck. Love, 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 love this deck. Like I said, I was so confused when I first got this deck. I didn't know how to read it, how to work with it, you know, anything like that. Now that am a little more seasoned, so to speak, with tarot, I'm getting a little more comfortable kind of going back to this deck. Alrighty, so on to the next one. So this was another deck that I bought. I believe this was my second deck that I bought. It came in a box like this. The artwork is beautiful. They're a little hard to shuffle, obviously. They are tarot cards. They're just really, really, really large tarot cards. The artwork, it's like very like old school. And this one, it's like Princess of Hearts. So so it has all the major arcanas. Like this is the Strength card. They're very busy cards. I haven't worked with these in quite a while. Like this is the King of Swords. I didn't quite resonate with them too well, but again, with this one, I kind of struggled reading them just because I was still relatively new to tarot. So I'll probably revisit them as I get, you know, more comfortable than what I already am now. Like this is the Sun card. So these ones, it's the Wands, Kings, and then obviously the major arcanas. They separate them in, and then Pentacles by color. They have them kind of color coordinated. I believe all the purple were the major arcanas. Green was the pentacle suit. This kind of yellow color was the wand suit. The blue was the swords. And instead of the cups, it was hearts. So they had the hearts there instead of cups, right? Because cups is deals with like your emotions and things like that, right? So it can either be cups, chalices. I've seen shells, I believe it was, and then hearts, right? So that's kind of how these ones are. Like I said, the artwork is like very like old kind of fashion. You know, like a like artists, like them, like really old artists kind of feel to them. Almost like a tapestry too. You know, they're very, very old, have a very old school feel. Just like the artwork to them. And I do have the book. Just give me one sec. Oh, I just had it. Oh, there it is. Sorry, guys. And so this is the book. It's the Enchanted Tarot. This was the 25th edition anniversary. 25th anniversary edition. It's Amy Zenner and Monte Faber. I apologize if I'm not saying the names right, guys, but that's the names there. It's all in color, like the book's all in color. As you can see, all in color. It gives you a bit of information about, it gives you an introduction, preparing the Enchanted Tarot and the art of divination, preparing for a reading, interpreting the cards of the Enchanted, the major arcana, minor arcana, tarot card index, and then about the author. So it gives you all the meanings, a little bit about the cards themselves, handling them, reading, interpreting the cards. They give you some examples of spreads. This is just the different ways to interpret the 3-level spread. You know, first you have the first card, second and third card, mind, body, spirit, past, present, future, background, problem, advice. So just depending on what the question is that you're asking, or the person is asking the card, those would be how you would interpret it, right? This is the Celtic Cross, a more in-depth card layout. And then it even gives you like an example of like the cards that were there, and then, you know, the reading, and it gives you like what the question was, you know, like what this person question was, and then the reading, and then it gives you the major arcana. So the Fool, and then it says trust. So this one, it's the Dream, which is basically like the card, about the card, like the meaning of the card. Then it's the Awakening, which is like the meaning of the card. And then the Enchantment. And then it has in the corner here, which is just like a quick read if you don't want to read all of this, you know, if you're doing just like a quick card pull, and then, you know, you got to go to work. So it gives you the message and then outcome. So I mean, I know for some of them, the meanings kind of confuse me a bit. So, I mean, you can take in consideration, because, I mean, you know, the Fool card in general pretty much has the same meaning, obviously from deck to deck. And, you know, the person that created the deck or like designed the deck, you know, did the write-up of the deck, it's their interpretation of, you know, what the Fool is. So, you know, they're gonna more than likely incorporate obviously the general meaning, as well as their intuitive meaning of the card as well, right? So the other deck that I have that I worked with for quite a while as well, I actually have two of these. So this was the first one that I bought. I bought it from one of my sisters. She's a very, very dear friend of mine, one of my best friends. Pretty sure we knew each other in a previous life. The energy, like our energy is literally just locked and like in sync with one another, pretty much instantly. When we first met at witch school. As I had said in my previous video, I had attended witch school for a year here in Ottawa. And she owns a beautiful, beautiful witchcraft store in Gatineau. So I had bought this deck, but the little tiny pamphlet that came with it, I didn't like it. So, and I kind of struggle with the cards a bit, you know, because I like to know whoever the writer of each tarot deck, I like to know their meaning, you know, as well as obviously the general meaning of the cards, right? So because I kind of like to incorporate both, because I mean it is, you know, they did personalize, like it's their deck, you know, they did the write up for it, and you know then the other person does the artwork for it, you know. So I like to, you know, incorporate that obviously as along with my own interpretation of the cards as well, right? I like to take both in consideration. So these ones, I really love these cards, and I've done a few readings for people using these cards. They're a good stock. They're not too glossy. They're kind of more of a matte. They have a little bit of a shine to them. They shuffle. Oops, sorry, let me just take those guys out. They shuffle really well. So this is the back of the card, and this is the front of the card. They're really, really beautiful cards. That's the Two of Swords. There's the Ace of Swords. They're really beautiful cards. I really love the artwork of them. You know, the Four of Wands. This one, it uses, for the cups, they use chalices. So like this is a Three of Chalice. There's the Two of Chalice, which would be like the Two of Cups. There's the Ace of Chalice. So the only thing that kind of, you know, somewhat confused me a bit was some of the major arcanas. I was kind of like, huh? Like the Fool, for instance. So this is the Fool. That's the Fool card, right? So I had to watch some card reviews on these, you know, just because I was just kind of like, I didn't know how to interpret the card. You know what I mean? So like that's the World card, right? This is a Judgment card. So like some of them, it was a little hard to kind of interpret the meaning of the cards. That's the Sun, which is, the Sun is masculine energy. So, I mean, if you didn't know that, you'd be like, okay, well, I don't get it. Well, the Sun is masculine energy. The Moon is feminine energy, which is why it's a goddess there. Like, you know, like this is a tower, right? It's not like a typical tower, you know, this is the devil, you know, which isn't like the typical devil card. This is, it's, you know, looking at your shadow self, right? You know, the Death card. This was the Death card. You know, it's not like the typical death card. So people will be like, well, I don't get it. Death. Well, death is transformation. You see on one side, the left side there, it's a caterpillar. You know, the caterpillar transforms, goes into a cocoon, and then transforms into a butterfly, right? Death isn't necessarily death. Death is transformation, you know. There was another card that was kind of like, huh? I can't seem to find it. But I, you know, as I got more comfortable learning tarot, and then obviously once I got the book, which I'm going to show you the book, I was more comfortable, you know, working with the deck, and I really, really love the deck. And I actually worked with this deck for quite a while before I got the Everyday Witch. So this is the book, and I believe this was actually made in Italy. Don't quote me on it, but that's the book for the card, and it's Barbara Moore and Franco Ravioli are the creators for the deck. So I think he's the one that does the artwork, and she was the one that did the writing. So this one, it actually gives you like, it breaks it down, right? So it talks a bit about working with tarot and the deck itself, the structure of the deck, and then it it also talks about different things that are in the cards to look for. So like silver moons are also known as cups or chalices and are associated with water. They govern emotions and relationships. Silver threads are also known as pentacles and are associated with earth. They govern the material world. Silver wings are also known as swords and are associated with air. They govern our thoughts. Silver flames are also known as wands and are associated with fire. They govern passion. So then it also breaks down here. You know, one is self, the beginning, the seed, the source, new beginnings or fresh opportunities. They have some of the Sabbats here, like 2 is Yule, so they associated 2 with Yule, the winter solstice, a safe world, choices or relationships. 3 is Imbolc, the world awakens, creativity or teamwork. 4 is Astara, the spring equinox, a moment of full energy, stability, or stagnation. 5 is Beltane, a world of growing and connection, conflict, loss, or chaos. 6 is Lithia, the summer solstice, and explosion of beauty. So it's communication, community, or problem solving. 7 is Lammas, the harvest in the world, reflection or assessment. 8 is Mabon, the autumn equinox, a world preparing to go to sleep, movement, speed, or power. 9 is Samhain, a world asleep and open spiritual doors, independence or solitude. 10 is the universe, the greater world, endings or completions. So it breaks it down there, and then it's, understanding the cycle. So it gives you quite a bit of information, and then it talks about intuition, and then how to do a reading, so divination, and then it goes further tips for clear reading, and then other uses for tarot, so magical work, journaling, meditation. Then it goes into the major arcanas, spheres of existence. So cards from 1 to 7 relate to the material sphere. Cards from 8 to 14 relate to the immaterial / intellectual sphere. Cards from 15 to 21 relate to the spiritual / divine sphere. So that's how they have it. Areas of being, breaks it down here. So they have quite a bit of information in this book. So we'll just do the first one here, the Magician, which is the first one here. It's material. The unknown, astrological, is Mercury. Element is air. So it gives you a description of the card. And then reflection, which is like, their meaning of the card. It says, think about the connection between above and below. Is the magician reading the book or writing the book? Is she reading the book, or is she reading the moon and the stars? One of her hands points to the sky while the other points to the book. Even if the connection between above and below is unseen, it doesn't make it any less real. And then it gives you keywords. So the keywords for the magician for this deck is will, talent, skill, creativity, manifestation, communication, magic, action, awareness, power, resourcefulness, concentration, eloquence, and then it gives you for the reverse. So this deck does reverse. Some people do reverse cards and they'll read reverse cards. Some people don't. There's no right or wrong way. It's what feels right to you. Sometimes I will do read a reverse card, and sometimes I won't. I just kind of go with my intuition of whether or not I need to or not. So the reversed for this card in this deck, the Magician, is trickery, manipulation, deceit, con, liar, misuse of gifts. And like I said, it's all in color. It's beautiful. The cards are very beautiful. So that one is Silver Witchcraft Tarot. And then, like I said, guys, I apologize for the noise in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I have a house full, so. And then the other one that I bought was this one. The Wild Unknown Tarot deck came like this. story with this one, I actually haven't worked with this one in quite a while. I had just started working with this one. I bought this in June of 2020. My daughters and I had went out to a metaphysical store that we like to go to. It's just a small shop. They have a, little section on like witchcraft and stuff, and tarot decks, oracle decks, stuff like that. And I seen this deck and it kind of caught my eye and I was drawn to it. I brought it home. It was a Monday. I was just starting my vacation, and so we brought it home and I set all the table up, and each of my girls had bought some stuff. They each brought their cards up, and we were literally just having a girls' evening of witchcraft and witch work and stuff. So this was how it comes. And so I was doing a few little readings, and my daughters were looking at the cards as well. They're beautiful cards. Crazy thing, like I hadn't even really bonded with these cards. As I said, I just bought them. Now maybe it was just a coincidence. I don't particularly necessarily always believe in coincidences. This is the book. It's the book's black and white, but like still, the pictures are beautiful. I did a reading for myself. I think it was just like a card pull. I can't remember what card it was that I pulled specifically, but basically the card was talking about like loss and heartache and like stuff like that. It was kind of like a negative kind of card. I didn't pay too much mind about it. Just as I said, I was just getting to know the card, right? And literally as soon as I did the reading or like the card pull, my phone rang, and my husband brought me the phone. It was the house phone, and it was the Montfort Hospital, and they told me that my mother was brought in by ambulance and stuff like that. And like I said, I literally just pulled a card, and it was like about loss and heartache and just all that stuff, right? And I hadn't put two and two together yet. Obviously, my mom is my only parent that I have a relationship with. So I was like frantic and, tears kind of rolling down my face, saying she was brought in by an ambulance at about 4:00. And this was about 6:30 in the evening now. So I instructed my older daughter to call my brother, just because I had assumed that he didn't know, not realizing he was the one that had called the ambulance for her. Long story short, my mom was rushed into the hospital. She almost died. She had a hole in her bowel that had been there for an extremely long time, and her body was basically going into septic shock. So she was on a bunch of medications to clear the infection that was literally going through her whole body. She was very touch and go for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. She was in an induced coma. She almost died. And for me, obviously that would have been a huge loss for me. My mother is the only parent that I have a relationship with. So it wasn't until I kind of settled down a bit maybe about half an hour or so later, and I kind of sat down and was trying to wrap my head around the whole situation, is when I put the two and two together, and I was like, oh my God, the card that I pulled. And then both of my daughters said the same thing. They were like, oh my God, Mom, that's insane. I hadn't even like slept with these cards. Like I hadn't even really put that much of my energy on these cards. The accuracy of these cards are phenomenal. I will start working with them again. It kind of spooked me. Obviously just because of, you know, the first experience I had with these cards. I almost lost my mother. So I will start working with these cards again. But the cards are like the High Priestess, like, hello, gorgeous. The Empress. The artwork of these is just amazing. This is the World card. Two of Cups. The Lovers card. Just gorgeous. The Hierophant. Anybody who knows me, I love crows. I love ravens. I love, you know, red cardinals, blue jays. This is the Temperance. Just beautiful cards. You know, some of them have nice, you know, bright colors, and then other cards are more muted. This is the Mother of Pentacles, you know, which is just the fawn with the baby. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the Seven of Swords. You know, like it's muted, but it's got a little bit of color. I apologize, guys. I know you guys can hear my family downstairs in the living room talking. The walls are thin in this house, but my family is very loud. Nobody knows how to talk quietly in my house. So there's the Seven of Wands. Sorry, that previous card was the Eight of Swords. There's the Five of Cups, you know, and you see the beautiful horse. See what I mean? Like, some of them are muted, you know. Daughter of Swords, beautiful owl. And my best friend, who is a sister to me, we've only known each other for going on 3 years, but I'm pretty sure, well, I'm positive we were friends in a past life or past lives. She would probably steal this card. It is an owl. She loves owls, you know. There's the Daughter of Pentacles. And then here's like the Three of Cups. Like, it's vibrant. You know what I mean? The Hangman in this deck, it's a bat. You know? Mother of Swords. Beautiful owl. This is the Four of Wands. Like, it's almost like you're looking at an eye, right? It's just, the deck is beautiful. You know, Ace of Pentacles. You know, it's like, it's a slab of wood, you know. This is the Tower. Like, the Tower in this card is different, right? It's the tree being struck by lightning, and, you know, the top of it, you know, catching fire, breaking off. There's the Justice card, you know, the dark with the light. There's the Ace of Cups, you know. It's just the artwork of this deck is gorgeous. Like I said, I will start working with this deck again. I just I had to take a break from it. Kind of freaked me out a little. The just looking for the major. So it gives you it talks about some of the major arcana, same as before, like the other books, the minor arcana. It has the suits here, wands, gives you a bit of info, ruled by the element of fire. The wands represent inspiration and creativity. They relate to our ambitions, goals, and dreams. They mark the beginning of all ventures within the mind and spirit. Many wands in a reading indicates the situation resides mostly in the mind, not yet in the external world. Cups, obviously, it's your emotions. Addresses the quality of our relationships and our connections to others. They speak of love, friendship. Swords is it's the suit of action and intellect, ruled by the element of air. These dynamic cards address change, conflict, and power. They point to constructive and destructive tendencies within us all. Pentacles, suit of worldly possessions. The Pentacles often speak of issues involving our home, money, and career. Keep it down, please. They reflect upon our generosity and greed. When many appear in a reading, it means the focus is on material things, property, income, and home. Then it talks about the court cards. The court cards numbered 11 through 14 in each of the minor arcana suits are called the court cards. In many decks, they're named the Page, Knight, Queen, and King. The author of this book, which is Kim Krans, that's her there. She chose, she says, I chose a common variation that ties into our family system. So she chose daughter, which would be the page, son would be the knight, mother would be the queen, and father would be the king. This offers an immediate connection to the cards, allowing you to easily and intuitively link each character to someone you know. Unlike all the other tarot cards, the court cards typically represent people, not situations. They can be very hard to interpret, especially at first. Be patient. Here is a simple and a very generalized guide to get you started. So the Wands family, the vibrant and well-loved family, they make dangerous enemies, usually lighter skin and hair. The Cups family, artistic, open-minded, quiet, a family of dreamers, lighter skin and hair. Lucius and Sydney, guys, please keep it down. Sorry, guys. The Swords family, well-educated and highly receptive. Not necessarily a warm family, usually dark skin and hair. The Pentacles family, very grounded, deeply connected to nature. And the home may have darker hair and eyes. I don't really particularly connect to any of that. I don't particularly like connecting, you know, skin color and hair to the minor arcanas. Not quite sure where she was going with that. But yeah, I actually never even read that. That's the first time I've ever seen that in here. not quite sure how I feel about that. I don't particularly resonate with that. And then it goes into getting readings, what to ask, shuffling, cutting, a single reading, so like a card a day, which like I was saying, 3-card reading, past, present, future. So the first one, influences from the past that still affect the situation. 2, the present, all that surrounds you, either positive or negative. And 3, the likely future or outcome. 3-card spreads are awesome. They can, so who I was, who I am, will be, body, mind, spirit, like I had said from previous. Clarity card, which is like a 4th card, right? So 1, the overall situation, and then cards 2 to 4, contributing factors, shows a connection spread, 1, which is representing you, 2, your challenge, 3, the other person, 4, their challenge, 5, the uniting force. Obviously, I think every tarot deck has the Celtic cross, and then year ahead spread. So a year ahead spread, you would do like New Year's, so like December 31st, you could do your year ahead spread, you know, so it would overlook, you know, your year for 2021. I think my daughter did hers. I actually didn't do one for myself this year. My headspace wasn't quite into doing it, so I didn't do it. It's one thing, I mean, to each his own, whatever, but for me personally, I will not do a reading if my head isn't clear, you know. So like if I have a headache or if I have a migraine or something, I won't do a reading, you know, because I'm not going to be able to focus and put my like 100% full energy into a card, you know, or sorry, into a reading. I apologize again, guys, if this video is long, but I mean, I have a lot of cards, so. So the next deck that I am going to show you is, as soon as I can, oh, there it is. It's just my personal preference, or, you know, whatever. I believe everybody should have the traditional, just let me get the book here. The traditional read-a-write deck. So I bought their, I think it was like their, just give me a sec. I'm just going to grab the box here because I don't want to make a mistake. Pamela Coleman Smith. She was the artist of the Rider-Waite Smith deck. This was the, I know it was like their edition, but it's a special edition anyways. It's the traditional deck. Pamela, she is the original artist of them. And there's a lot of controversy about the deck because I can't remember everything about it. If I remember correctly, I think she wasn't really acknowledged too much. You know, for her artwork in it, you know, with her being a woman back then and a woman of color on top of it. So this deck, it actually came with some little postcards of her artwork, which I thought was amazing, which is what I wanted, because I wanted her, you know, like her energy and stuff, right? And also I wanted a traditional deck as well. So this traditional deck, I do tend to use more for when I'm doing readings for other people. I have used other decks, some of my other decks for readings as well. And then it also came with some pictures. This is a picture of her. As I said, you know, being a woman of color and doing the artwork and all the design. She didn't get the recognition that she should have for her work that she contributed to the deck. And then it came with a second book here. Actually, I haven't opened this one in a while. And this is literally just some of her artwork that she has done herself, you know, back in that time, as you can see. And then it, you know, talks a bit about her. And then it came with this, which is just some different card layouts. And, you know, how to read them, interpret them, and stuff like that. Alrighty. There we go. Actually, I haven't opened this since I've bought this. So this is the traditional Reader Great Smith deck. Oops. And if you're familiar with tarot, I mean, you'll know, right? It's literally just the old school traditional deck that I'm sure everybody is familiar with. You know, like that's the Devil card. Here's the Sun. So this one I will do if I'm doing readings for other people. This is a deck that I do generally work with. Like I said, I have worked with other decks when I'm doing readings for other people. And then obviously the reading. So this one, I wasn't too crazy about the writing. So for this one, I literally use the traditional meanings for them, and then obviously add my own interpretation to them. Only because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't too crazy about how they wrote, you know, like Six of Pentacles. A person in the guise of a merchant weighs money in a pair of scales. So here's like the description of the, you know, it is a testimony to his own success in life, as well as to his goodness of heart. Devantory meanings: presence, gifts, gratification. Another account says attention, vigilance. Now is the acceptance time. Like, it's just, it's very vague. I wasn't really crazy about the write-up for the meanings. One book I will tell you, if you are just starting out in witchcraft, or sorry, well, witchcraft, but I mean in tarot, this book here, it's the Modern Witchcraft Book of Tarot, Your Complete Guide to Understanding the Tarot, by Sky Alexander. I actually have quite a few of these books for different things. It's an amazing book. Like, it gives such a good, write up for each card, if, for when you're just starting out. Like Seven of Cups, it gives you keywords up at the top, possibilities, potential, imagination, fantasy. Gives you a bit of the description. It says, in some decks, including the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Aquarian, the Seven of Cups shows 7 chalices holding a variety of objects, some pleasant, some frightening, which are being offered to the person who receives this card. When the Seven of Cups appears, it represents a time of contemplating options, weighing possibilities, and entertaining fantasies about your future. And then obviously it gives you upright. So if the card is in an upright position, it gives you the meaning for upright. The upright 7 suggests many choices and paths are available to you now, but you may have trouble deciding among them. Nothing is certain. Let your intuition as well as your intellect guide you. And then it gives you, if you're doing a reading about money, if you're doing a reading about your job, if you're doing a reading about love, and then it also gives you the reverse, So it's a really, they give you a lot more information with this book. I also have another book that I had, which was the very first book that I bought about tarot and learning tarot, and that book is very good as well. I believe it is right here. Just give me one sec. How to Read Tarot, a Practical Guide. This was another book that was really good. And like, I finished this book completely. It really helped me, and it goes by the Rider-Waite-Smith as well. So I mean, those 2 books are very good as well.
Where's my soap?
I don't know. Can you ask your sister to keep it down, please?
Cindy, keep it down.
Look in the hall on the shelf. There's soap there.
Haul it on the shelf.
Daddy's.
Sorry.
Thank you. Oh, Flala, I'm telling you. Never have a piece, or a moment's peace, I should say. And then, let me just put this back down. And then I have this deck here, which I haven't worked with. My daughter gifted it to me. She didn't really connect with the deck, so I can't really say whether I connect with it or not, because I've never really worked with it. It's very small. So if you have really small hands, you can work with it really well. It's all like familiar, so it's got cats. She lost the little paper insert for it, for like their meanings. Like, that's the Empress. There's the Emperor. The Hierophant. The Lover's card is different. The Chariot, which is the Unicorn. So I haven't really worked with this card, but it's all, like this is the death card. It's all animals, and it has to do, because it's all familiars, right? And it looks like they're kind of color coordinated to each suit. Like this is the Ace of Cups. Now the one thing I will say, so like it's only the ace that has the animal, and then the rest of the suit is literally just the cups. So it's like the 2 of cups, 3 of cups. And then I believe when it goes into, so instead of the page of cups, it's the knave of cups. So these ones are all, so that's like the knave of cups, which would be like the page of cups, and then obviously the knight of cups, and then the queen of cups, and then the king of cups. So this one, that's how they do theirs. So I haven't worked with this deck. Like I said, my daughter just gifted it to me because she didn't really resonate with the cards themselves. And so that is all of my tarot. And then the oracle decks, which I showed you, the one oracle deck that I'm working with, and these are the 2 oracle decks that I had bought that I don't really resonate with too much. So this is the Dragon Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. They're both by Diana Cooper, actually. They're beautiful cards. My son really likes them. So, I mean, maybe, when he gets older. So these are the cards. Just, quick. These are the back of the cards. They are laminated, but they do shuffle, pretty good. This is the back of the cards, and it comes with a book. I will show you guys the book there in a sec. So this is the book. It's just a small little book. It's not color. It gives you about the card, and then the guidance of the card. So, and this book is divided up into dimensions. So you have, it says interpretations of the cards. So you have the 4th dimensional dragons, and then it gives you the list of the dragons, which is, there's earth, air, fire, water, and then 5th dimensional dragons, and then it goes into 7th dimensional dragons, and then 9th dimensional dragons. So that's how they do it. And then they do like an introductory to dragons, and then it's interpreting the card. So like this one is a 4th dimensional dragons, earth and air dragon. Represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. And then it says, stay balanced, ground your visions, manifest your hopes and dreams. And then it tells you a bit about the card, and then the guidance of the card itself. So, I didn't really quite resonate with these cards too much, but I mean, you never know. It could change, sometimes that particular moment when you buy a deck, you don't resonate with them later, but then later on, you kind of go back to that deck, and you refresh yourself with that deck and kind of reconnect with that deck, and then that you end up resonating with that deck because you're in a different period of, you know, your life now. So this one is Archangel Animal Oracle deck. So this one is like animals. So it says dove, spread messages of peace and harmony. And then it gives you like the archangel. And then it says about doves. And then it talks about, you know, the guidance for that card. So these ones give you archangels. Like this is the goat. Act from your intimate wisdom. Archangel Pure Milk. I know I'm totally butchering that name and I apologize. And Pan, God of Nature. You know, like this one is Gray Squirrel. Find new ways of solving problems. Archangel Raphael. And then, you know, so on. And it's by the same lady, Diana Cooper. So this is the back of the card, and it's the same size as the other deck. And then, you know, like cat, and these are, it's all animals, you know, snake, bat, raven, butterfly. So it's all has to do with animals. And they have like insects in there too. I believe there's a spider, ant. My son really likes these ones. And then this is my other one, which I had got in a Samhain subscription box that I had. It's the Halloween Oracle. This deck I have worked with, and I really, really love this deck actually, and I connected with it very well. I still work with it even if it's not Samhain. The artwork is amazing for these. I love this deck so much. And this is the back of the cards. They're a little bit larger than the other oracle cards that I have. As you can see, they shuffle very well. And it comes with the guidebook. It's not color, but it doesn't matter. It comes with a lot of information. So it talks about the card, and then it goes into, you know, if this card appears in your meaning. So Black Cat, fortune meets opportunity. Sleek and black and lantern-eyed, crosses your path with a kiss, with a hiss. Good luck and fortune sweep by with a kiss. This oracle deck has actually been quite accurate for me when I have worked with it. I actually just recently stopped working with it just to get to know, you know, these cards, the ones that came in the Witch's Moon. So those are my decks of tarot and my oracle decks. Just a little bit of information about tarot and using like numerology when you're reading and stuff. A good friend of mine, Diane, had hosted a Zoom class on tarot, and we just went over like the minor arcanas. So cards, you know, 1, 2, and 3, is, the seeds. Conception, something is conceived and articulated. And then you have the second stage, which is cards 4 to 6. Actualization. Something is manifested and adjusted. So this is like the seedling stage. And then the third stage, which is cards 7, 8, 9. This is the tree stage. Expansion, something is developed. And then 10, which is the last stage, which is the fruit stage, is transition. Something has been successfully developed and will move forward. So this actually really helped me with interpreting the cards. The numerology of it, so 1 being the beginning, power on, conception, possibilities, the urge to initiate something new on an individual alone. So the magician card would, kind of represent this stage, right? And then 2, which is direction and duality, claiming, naming, and affirming, something that has been initiated, planting a seed, mapping a direction, entering into partnership. So the high priestess would kind of be, that kind of energy, if you were going to assign a major arcana to it. And every time I talk to her, I always thank her. I thank her all the time for her notes. They really helped me understand the cards more. So 3 is synthesis. Wow. Synthesis. So it's clarifying and refine. See the bigger picture. Celebration, Trinity, obviously having a baby, which is the Empress card, which is, fertility, and birth. Not necessarily literally like, having a baby and, being pregnant and conceiving kind of thing, but it could be birth of, a new idea, birth of a new journey, birth of a new path, birth of a new creative activity, and then 4 is stability, create something in time and space, foundation, also stubbornness and determination, buy a house. It's the Emperor, this is like the stability numerology. 5 is uncertainty. So time passes, things shift and change. You may need to adjust and adapt, conflict, hardship, upheaval. So the Hierophant would be associated kind of with that out of the major arcana, right? 6 is harmony, understanding process, creating a rhythm, finding patterns, reaching your stride, generosity, love. So the Lover's card is associated kind of with that. Or well, you would associate the Lover's card with that, 7 is wisdom. Using your imagination, playing with possibilities, creativity, experimentation, excitement, travel. The Chariot would kind of represent that. 8 is regeneration, recognize, reevaluate, judgment, blockage, and moving beyond. So the strength card is in that one. 9, which is attainment, satisfaction, integration, and ongoing direction. Self actualization, perfection. So the Hermit is with that one. 10, which is wholeness, reaching a goal and beginning a new phase. A new project. Wheel of Fortune is for that one. So now, obviously, this is all the minor arcana that we're speaking about. Later on, when I'm a little more comfortable with the major arcanas and I know more, I'll do a video on the major arcanas. So then we have the element correspondence, which is so air, which is the swords. So your suit of swords is the air element. Time of day is dawn, season, spring, which is, new growth and beginnings. Wheel of the year, Imbolc, spring equinox, Astara. Moon phases, new and waxing moon, life stage or role, childhood. Astrological signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Qualities, thought, communication, ideas, clarity, words spoken and written. Intellect, logic, learning, meditation, symbols, birds, clouds, sky, wind, feathers, incense, breath, books and writing, glass, mirrors, computers. Elemental beings, elves, sylphs, and fairies. And then we go into the wands, which is the element of fire, which the direction is south. The season is summer, fullness and abundance. Wheel of the year, Beltane. Summer solstice, moon phase, first quarter, life stage, adolescence. Astrological signs, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Qualities, energy, passion, creativity, playfulness, sexuality, identity, power, personal will, actions, transformation, magic, inspiration, and enthusiasm. Symbol, fire in all forms, candles, torches, bonfires, campfires, sparks, sun, heat. Loving animals, cats, reptiles, forage, fireworks, ritual magic, wands, mortar and pestle, elemental beings, sprites, and salamanders. And then we have water, which is your to-do. Water is your suit of cups. So cups is water. The direction is west. Time of day, twilight, evening. Season, autumn, harvest, harvesting and preparing. Sabbath is Mabon, which is the fall equinox. Moon phases, which is, it's the full moon. Life stage, midlife. Astrological signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Qualities, emotions, bliss, love, sorrow, joy, grief, inner depths, dreams, fantasies, imagination, healing, spirituality, mysticism, and mystery. Symbols, oceans, rivers, pools, water, falls, rain, fish and sea animals, pearls, shells, tears, chalices, cauldrons, wells, boats, bowls, and kettles. Elemental beings, nymphs, undimimes, nixes, and naiads. And then our last suit is the Pentacles, which is the earth sign, which is the direction north. Time of day is midnight. The season is winter. Dormancy and conservation of energy. Sabbaths, Samhain, and winter solstice, Yule. Moon phases, waning and dark moon. Life stage, elderhood. Astrological signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Qualities, body, manifestation, stability, grounding, self-worth, values, practicality, health, prosperity, money, work, home, tradition, and security. Symbols, trees, mountains, flowers, herbs, stones, gardens, coins, jewels, crafts, drums, baskets, fiber, ants, elemental beings, gnomes, kobolds, and giants. So that's just the a bit about the minor arcanas. You know, when you're doing a reading, one, you know, a card pull a day, just one every day. You would just ask, like, what I need to know today, you know, what do I need to pay attention to today? And then you would draw, you know, a card from your deck, you know, as you shuffle it, you know, how you see fit. Reflect on what it might mean for you. And then, like I said before, have a tarot journal, write it down, you know, and then during the day, you know, look for people, events, and situations that may represent the card, you know. Anything that might have happened during the day, you know, when you come back home, think about it, you know. What did anything happen during the day that, you know, may be in that card, you know, or what that card represents, you know. Bring the card's energy into your daily activity, you know. So depending on, you know, what card you picked, you know, bring that card with you, you know, carry the energy of the card with you for the day, you know. And then at the end of the day, reflect on what happened throughout the day, you know. Write down any new insights about the tarot card, you know, like, did you see anything throughout the day that happened to you that may, you know, that the card represents, you know, like, and then, you know, reading tarot intuitively, I mean, guys, that's going to come in time, you know, like one step at a time, you know. As you become more familiar with the cards, you know, you'll be able to read them intuitively, you know. Look at the question that you asked, you know. So, you know, depending on the question that you asked, you know, so you got to look at the card and, okay, I asked, you know, this question. You know, start describing what you see in the card, you know, people, objects, expressions of faces, buildings, landscape, you know, everything kind of ties into your interpretation when you're looking at the card, pay attention to the little details in the cards, like sometimes some of the decks will put in like little like mystical animals, they have a meaning, and then ask yourself, how that story might be playing out in your life right now. What is it a metaphor for? Think about your original question you asked, or perhaps your current situation, and consider what that card is trying to tell you at that present moment. A lot of people associate, the death card with death. That's very rare to actually, that's actually what it means. It's generally the ending of one situation, transformation, and, like that's, what the death card is, the same thing with the Tower card. A lot of people look at the Tower card and they're like, oh my God, I got the Tower card. And oh my God, my life's over. It's really not. I mean, obviously, it's not a good card. We all know this, but we got to take a step back and look at the card, and look at the situation and, the question as well, when you pull, when you ask the cards, and that card came up in your reading, okay, well, what was the question that you asked? Why was it that? And then obviously the positioning of the card too, right? The same thing with like the Ten of Swords, everyone associates that card with, backstabbing, because it's literally 10 swords that have been impaled in the back of a person. But we also have to look at these negative cards from a different a different light of like, okay, that was a really shitty situation. Excuse the language. That was a really rough and stressful point of my life. What have we learned from that situation? What have we learned not to do? Do you know what I mean? Going forward, because it's all about learning, If you continuously keep getting those cards and you continuously keep going through those rough patches in your life and, drawing in that type of energy into your life, is because you're not learning from the situation. You continually repeating going through those things because you're not learning from the first time. You didn't learn. You got to learn, it's about learning, and yes, those cards are scary and frightening, and automatically you're like, when those cards come up, because they're not nice cards. There's a few of them that aren't, those are like the major ones that I, popped in my head, because people are like, oh my God, the death card. Oh my God, the Tower card. Oh my God, the Ten of Swords, Yeah, okay, I understand it's not the greatest cards, but we have to look at the learning aspect of the card. Yes, that, trial and tribulation situation happened, to me. Okay, so let's take a step back now. What are we not gonna do? What have we learned from that situation, and what are we not gonna take forward? Basic numerology. 1s is new beginnings. 2s is partnerships. 3 is creation. 4 is stability and foundations. 5 is, like I said before, conflict and change. 6 is harmony, growth, and togetherness. 7 is spirituality and knowledge. 8 is action. 9 is fulfillment. And 10 is completion and renewal, i.e. the 10 of Swords. Okay. You've completed that, rough part of your life, that, rough situation. It's time for a change. It's time for renewal. So what have we learned from this situation going forward so we don't repeat those situations, the suits, so cups, like I said before, is water, which governs relationships, feelings, emotions, and creativity. Pentacles is earth, which governs like finance, work, material possessions. Swords is air, which governs intellect, mindsets, thoughts, communications. Wands is fire, which corresponds with passion, energy, and motivation. So this is just dealing with the minor arcanas, guys. And I mean, I still consider myself a novice when it comes to tarot. I'm still learning tarot. I have a habit of learning 10 different things at once. It's just, that's kind of just who I am. I guess, learning the astrology signs and stuff. I do have some Gemini in my astrology, which Gemini are very kind of, all over, right? I have to learn different things at once, even with my books. I'll have sometimes 3 books on the go that I'm reading. Like I said, I'm still learning tarot, and I'm now, also learning runes. I'll just kind of show you guys a few of these. These were handmade for me as a gift from 2 of my community sisters. So they're just beautiful stones, and they've all have the symbols painted on them. So I've been working with these just for a week now. I just do a room pull every day, along with, my tarot, my oracle, and they were beautiful enough, both of them, just to write me just like a little cheat sheet. I actually bought a runes book to read more in depth about runes, like the historical background to it, with Odin and Freya. I ask, every time before I pull a rune, as I shake the runes around in my bag, I ask, just for the guidance and the blessings and the energies of Odin and Freya and my ancestors and my spirit guides and my spirit animals. Just, guide me, speak to me through these runes as I pull this card for the day. And then I pull my rune. I pull my rune, and then I display it here. I do my reading and I think about it. And then as my day kind of goes on throughout the day at work, I think of, and I kind of connect the dots, and I connect everything of like what, the energies of each card and the rune and how it played out throughout my day. And, when I come home, I think about it as well, I haven't started a journal yet for the runes. When I get more familiar with them, I will start kind of writing meanings down and then possibly incorporating them in with when I do readings for other people. When I do a reading for other people, I generally do a 3-card reading, and then I always pull an oracle card, and I may now incorporate pulling a runes card as well to kind of tie the reading in together. I apologize, guys, for this video being so long. There's a lot of information when it comes to tarot. Honestly, like, I can talk about tarot and divination forever. But I just wanted to make sure that I gave as much information that I had written down to you guys when you guys watch this video, so you guys can get that information as well. And like I said, as I get to know the runes more, I will do a video just strictly on the runes and learning about the runes and the meanings of each of the symbols and stuff like that. The same thing with the pendulum. I've been carrying my pendulum with me alongside my rune. I have my pendulum here. It's a black obsidian that was gifted to me. I actually haven't worked with a pendulum yet, but I just wanted to carry it with me just so it has my energy on it. So when I do start learning about working with a pendulum and stuff like that, the one thing I do know with pendulums are very good for yes and no answers, you know, yes, no, and maybe. That's what these are good for like quick answers. All right, guys, I won't keep you guys any longer. So if you have any questions, put a comment down below and I will try and answer it as best as I can. If I don't know, I definitely have a few people in my community that I can ask and get the answer for you. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, and the subscribe button and the notification button. So every time I put up a new video, you will be notified that I put up a new video. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and blessed be. Have a good night, guys. Magical dreams.